Welcome back to Money Talks. Every Saturday morning, good Saturday morning to Buffalo, WKBW. This is our second show. Mike Lomas, Glenn Wiggle, Financial Guys. And we will be with you each and every Saturday from 9 to 9:30. And of course, Linda Pellegrino takes over at 9:30 with AM Buffalo. This is the place where money meets politics. And we're going to have a ton of fun with this show. We do manage money for a living, but this show will be the place that money meets politics. Our first show last week, Carl Palladino, awesome guest on.
Yeah, fantastic time.
I mean, what a way to break in the show, right?
For sure.
And of course, we got a few the all-loving liberal left sent us some loving messages for having Carl on. So we love the fact that you're all-inclusive unless we don't agree with you.
That's right. Exactly right.
It's really amazing.
Exactly right, yeah.
Like we had one guy like literally sent us a hate message.
No, left us a voicemail, I think.
Voicemail, so yeah, voicemail.
I know, by the way, we have caller ID now, so we know who you are, and we may call you back at some point.
Yeah.
Or we may play your message on the air, perhaps, so we'll see.
We, by the way, today's show, we're going to talk a little bit about how deceptive and basically the left-wing media really is, and we'll play some clips from the Morning Joe show. And on Morning Joe, I used to be a conservative Republican. Of course, a lot of them are conservative. A lot of them are conservative Republicans as they're running for office, and then when they get into office, they switch gears.
That's right.
Morning Joe just went way out of the left.
Well, he's just flat out delusional. I mean, when you hear this clip, if you didn't catch it before, he's not even attached to reality. So we'll talk about that. Of course, it's Independence Day week, so happy Independence Day to everybody. Hope everyone was safe with their holiday. Everyone's got their fingers all still attached. We're going to talk a little about socialism versus capitalism as well, considering it's Independence Day weekend. And you know, you figure you have to look at in the last 200 years how far this country has advanced the world versus the previous 2,000 years.
That's right.
Because of free market capitalism, not because of the UN, not because of foreign aid. It's because of free market capitalism. And it's sad when I see some of these youngsters, you know, these millennials hold signs up. A socialism candidate won and beat out a pretty prominent Democrat this past week. And so we'll talk a little about that as well. That's a big deal.
Yeah, there's never, it's funny because when they talk about socialism, they always talk about, well, socialism has never been done right. But it's funny because it always starts with the best of intentions, right? Redistributing wealth and you know, we're all going to be happy, and there's like some magic wand that will, or some magic person that's going to redistribute the wealth fair. But it always ends up as a miserable failure every single time.
Every time. And the frustrating thing is you can look at parts of the world right now, Venezuela, places like that, where they're collapsing. I mean, they're starving to death. The average Venezuelan lost 19 pounds last year. 19 pounds.
I'm laughing
because they're starving.
Like
it's sad.
But how do you know? It's funny. So you look at a place like Venezuela. They can't get toilet paper. Right. You know, forget about healthcare.
Can't get basic medicine.
Yeah. Forget about that. You can't even get toilet paper. Yeah. They're eating their dogs.
That's right.
They're eating their dogs.
Well, the big push now, we'll talk about this a little bit later, is now they're talking about, you know, trying to breed rabbits and planting their own food because it's that bad. So socialism always starts with, you know, free health care, free college tuition, free this, that, and the other thing.
That's right.
And it ends with disastrous economic conditions and, unfortunately, in Venezuela, eating your pets. It's gotten that bad. It really has. And so to see some of these candidates that are winning elections on the platform of socialism, and we got a great clip. We'll probably hold it till next week. It's the new Republican National Committee commercial that plays Bernie Sanders, and it's perfect, talking about, you know, what was fringe before is now mainstream. It should still be fringe. Yeah. Again, you look at South America, you look at Russia, right? You look at the collapse of USSR. They tried I mean, there was the joke back in the 80s was they couldn't get toilet paper. They were standing in line for, you know, hours and hours. Well, guess what? Same thing in Venezuela. Standing in line for hours to get basic, you know, supplies, flour.
Time and time again. Then you compare that, Glenn, to free market capitalism, and you look at a place like the U.S. where the lower ring of the taxpayers within 10 years sometimes is the highest ring. And what does that tell you? It tells you that you can go from the bottom to the top pretty quick here if you get off your butt and get a job and work for it.
Yeah, opportunity is everywhere. And, you know, the opportunity to keep our own money and to do what we want with it is really important to us. And that's why we talk about free market capitalism and smaller government, and that's really important. You know, I think the Republicans, for the most part nowadays, a lot of them at least, have forgotten about what we used to stand for, and that's smaller government.
That's funny you said that, because we'll play a Republican on the next clip here that really forgot his home base and what it was all about. And it's amazing to me, as you've pointed out, with places like Russia, Venezuela, all these places places that have tried socialism and have failed, and yet we have these kids running around with signs saying we want socialism.
And winning elections.
And
That's the
winning
scary
elections.
thing.
Scary.
So we'll talk
Absolutely
about that
scary.
for sure.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk a little bit about stock markets. By the way, if you need us throughout the week, folks, 633-1515, 633-1515. This is the place where money meets politics. We do each and every Saturday, 9 to 9:30. Get up, Buffalo. We'll see you in a little bit. Don't turn it down. Welcome back to Money Talks with you each and every Saturday morning, 9 to 9:30 right here on Channel 7 WKBW. This is the place where money meets politics. Mike Lomas, Glenn Wiggle, and we are the financial guys. Some of you may recognize our voice. We've been on News Radio 930 WBEN from 1 to 3 for 17 years now.
18. 18 years, yeah.
I don't want to admit to it. It'll get old. So tune in later today, by the way, and listen to us on News Radio 930 WBN, again, 1 to 3. This is the place where money meets politics. Last week, Carl Palladino on with us, and we're going to have some incredible guests over the next few months here. By the way, if you're a local politician and you'd like to come on, call us at our office, 633-1515. We've been trying to reach out to folks like Brian Higgins, Tim Kennedy,
And Mark Poloncarz.
The mayor of Buffalo, Mr. Brown. You're hiding from us, but you should really come on and tell us your points and explain your points, and you know that's what folks elected you to do. So we would encourage you to do that. I know Dave DiPietro will be on with us in a few weeks, and he's not afraid to come on and tell people what he thinks.
That's right.
Let's play some clips. But we've talked about we want to talk a little bit about the hypocrisy of the mainstream media.
Oh yeah.
And how left it is. And it's amazing to me, these folks really have amnesia.
Well, it's the whole party has moved left. So now we have the Democrat Party, which is fringe left wing for the most part.
Yeah.
You've got the Republican Party, which is Democrat light, and you've got a very small little handful of really true conservative Republicans that really do believe in smaller government, things like that. But when you go back just 10 years and you listen to these same Democrats in their own words.
Yeah.
Now saying, well, we got to get rid of. I mean, they're talking about. Think how radical we've gotten.
Yeah.
You've got Gillibrand talking about eliminating ICE, right?
That's
ICE
right.
is out there taking out sex offenders,
That's right.
drug traffickers.
That's right.
The murderers.
Yeah.
I mean, these are criminals, and they're out there protesting because they want. And the mainstream Democrat. She's a senator.
Yeah.
She's not some no-name little.
By the way, on the
representative
national
somewhere.
level, though, that'll wipe them out. That'll literally. You run on that platform, Democrats. You run on higher taxes and eliminating ICE. We'll see how many elections you
it's
win.
not going to work out well for them.
it won't.
But they continue down this radical path. So when you listen to them just 10 years ago versus today, they could be Republicans today.
That's right.
It's amazing.
Let's play some of the clips. Let's play the clip from Morning Joe. And then also we have a special clip from a special guest who must be a right-wing radical. We'll play it. Let's play the first clip of Morning Joe.
Maybe some of my friends and family members who still think that Donald Trump is worthy of their vote will understand that he's lying to them nonstop. I mean, he says he inherited a bad hand on immigration, when in fact immigration has been going down, went down, I think, all 8 years of the Obama administration. You look at the fact that we have reverse immigration. We had reverse immigration going into Mexico because the Mexican economy had gotten stronger under Barack Obama.
Yeah.
By the way, lies that are easily called out. You look at, we got to build a wall. We've got an illegal immigration. No, we don't. Actually, immigration down for 7-8 years. The president saying illegal immigrants cost us a lot of money. No, actually, illegal immigrants don't. There's a study that he demanded to get shows that refugees added $63 billion to our economy over the past decade. They killed the study. But it's immigrants cause crime. All these gang members come over. No, actually, it's 0.07%, something like 350 out of 300,000.
But it's a blizzard of lies.
How delusional is he? How delusional is he? First of all, reverse immigration. There was a small period during the recession where some Mexicans went back into their country.
Yeah, so let's explain this, right? In real terms, so people understand this. Yeah. The immigration from Mexico itself has been going down, but the rest of South America has been going up. So our net illegal immigration actually has been rising for 8 years, not declining. He's cherry picking numbers. Number two, The reason that the Mexicans were out migrating back to Mexico was not because Obama got the Mexican economy going.
That's right.
It's because he did such a horrible job with our economy in the U.S.
coming out of the recession.
That it was better for Mexicans to go back home to get jobs because they couldn't get jobs here.
Yeah.
So, he is so far, the next clip's even better, but he is so far off base. Either he's cherry picking the numbers willfully or he's just flat out ignorant.
Yeah, well, my favorite is they talk about illegal immigrants adding $64 billion to the economy. They did, but here's how they do the funny math. They forgot about the cost of $153 billion. So that's the funny math, right?
I see.
I made you $1, I'm worth it. Yeah, but you cost me $3. Oh, we don't want to talk about that.
Right,
That's the liberal math out there.
Well,
Joe, you should really explain the whole picture, right? Yes, they did do some work and they cut some lawns and worked for cheap labor, which is what I thought the left was totally against.
Right.
But they also cost us money. We'll talk about, by the way, 1 out of every 5 people in prison, illegal immigrant right now.
Right.
That cost money, Joe. We got to take a break. We'll be back. Money Talks, WKR, Channel 7. We'll be back. WKBW. Welcome back to Money Talks, the place where money meets politics, with you each and every Saturday morning. Good morning, Buffalo, 9 to 9:30. This is the place where money meets politics, and we're going to hold some of the local politicians accountable. And we'll talk about how a political scene actually matches your money and how it all relates to each other. So this is the place where money meets politics. If you need us throughout the week, folks, 633-1515. We do manage money for a living. I'd like to thank Channel 7 for inviting us and allowing us to do the first half hour here of AM Buffalo. And if you need us throughout the week, 633-1515. If you think like us, that's the really cool thing about our firm, is that I get to work and Glenn gets to work with folks that think like us Monday through Friday, and that's really important to us. If it's retirement planning, estate planning, college planning, Social Security planning, Medicare planning, again, 633-1515. Before the break, we were talking about the hypocrisy of the left. Morning Joe. We were talking a little bit about immigration. I want to try to find the clip of Obama, because he sounds like Donald Trump. To your
you could
point,
play any of them. You could play Hillary, you could play Obama, you could
Clinton,
play
Bill,
any of the Democrats from just 8 to 10 years ago. They were saying the same things Republicans are saying today.
Obama, no fair to these people waiting in line legally.
That's right. You can't jump in line. We're a nation of laws. Blah 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 blah. That's when it suited them. It doesn't suit them anymore.
Right.
Look, here's the deal. We all know they're on immigration now, and sadly we're all talking about it. But the reality of it is, they tried Stormy Daniels. Didn't work. They tried to nail him out with Mueller and Russiagate. Ain't working.
Didn't work.
Right? It's not working. So everything that they've tried, they can't talk about the economy.
No.
I mean, the economy is fantastic. We're going to play this clip coming up next, but the economy is doing better now than it has any time in the last 8 years. This next clip, though, really, to me,
there was some devastating news about 2 weeks ago for the left, and that there's like 10 million less people on food stamps now under Trump and Obama.
That is, I mean, the economy, like I said, we always say, look,
which has really got to make the left very uncomfortable.
Absolutely. Well, there goes their voters, right? But here's the thing: a rising tide lifts all boats. It really does. So yes, the wealthy get wealthier, but guess what? The middle class is better off. They're wealthier. We finally have some wage growth in this country. Unemployment figures are down below 4%. If you want a job, it's there for you. I mean, we had the slowest recovery from any recession since the Great Depression.
Nancy Pelosi the other day said, "Well, jobs don't matter. It's all about consumer confidence." Hello, Nancy.
Well, that's at an all-time high.
Hello, that's at an all-time high.
Yeah.
That's right. Hello. Let's play the clip.
The more she talks, the better we are, for sure.
That's right.
The economy growing every year under Barack Obama. I always talk. I ask people, Google GDP, world GDP of other countries. Compare other countries to ours. Not a close call. Not a close call. This country is strong and it's been moving upward. Make America great again. No. America had 7 straight years of an exploding economy, of illegal immigration going down.
As the word exploding. Joe, where were you? Where were you? We had the worst recovery out of a recession
ever,
Joe. ever. You missed the boat. I mean, look he inherited the economy at the bottom of a recession. That is the best time to be president of the United States of America. The best time, right? Because you can just play golf, which he did play a lot of golf, and he took a lot of vacations to Hawaii, but you should step away, leave the economy grow. His massive amounts of regulation, massive amounts of tax increases through regulations and we had an economy for the first time ever that had 8 years with not 1 year exceeding a 3% growth rate.
So he's talking about, comparing it to the world. Well, first of all, the rest of the world, for the most part, has gone in the direction of socialism, okay? So when you compare the United States to socialistic Europe, like France and so on, yeah, we look fantastic, right? But yet somehow the left wants to go there, like we want to replicate that. Secondly, as you've just pointed out, Obama was the first president in history not to break 3% GDP in any one given year. The first time in our history that we went through a 10-year block, the first decade ever that we didn't break 3% in GDP. Now, the estimates for the second quarter, we won't get those numbers out until the end of July, but the estimates for the second quarter right now are running at 4.2.
Right.
We just got the revised first quarter GDP figures in at about 2.2.
Think about what you just said, though, 4.2%. So he's in office. By the way, the tax cuts that were supposed to be Armageddon, right?
That's right.
Armageddon, first quarter after the tax cuts, the U.S. brings in a record amount of money.
That's right.
So just the opposite of what the left said.
Every time.
Right? And now we're looking at economic growth for the first time exceeding 3%. Since before Barack Hussein Obama.
Unemployment's down. Black unemployment, all-time low.
Yeah.
All-time low. So things are good as far as the economy goes. Doesn't mean that we won't have bumpy, spots in the future, but you can't go back and say he inherited a good hand from Obama. Obama was a disaster when it came to, he was economically illiterate. That was obvious by what he did and how he did it, and it's obvious by the results. I don't understand why we can't look at cause and effect, actions and results. There is a disconnect there on the left. There's no doubt about it.
Big disconnect. We'll talk more about it when we come back. This is Money Talks here on Channel 7. Good morning, Buffalo. We'll see you on the other side of the break. Don't turn the dial. Good Saturday morning to you, Buffalo. Welcome back. It's Money Talks. Mike Lomas, Glenn Wiggle, and we are the Financial Guys with you each and every Saturday from 9 to 9:30, the place where money meets politics. We've been talking about the hypocrisy of the liberal left and some of the media, and actually playing some of the clips. So we're going to have a clip of a what would you call a right-wing radical? I mean, that's what I would say.
Well,
this next clip would
if
be.
he was talking today, in today's day and age, he would be considered a right-winger. He'd be considered somebody on the fringe of the right, an alt-right, or somebody who is, way to the right of the spectrum.
Definitely way out there.
Way out
Definitely
there.
way out there.
You would think. Right? That was today. Except this clip is not from today. It's from about 10 years ago. About 2007, 2008, 2009, somewhere in there. This is right when I think they were actually running for the office, perhaps. Maybe that's what it was.
Okay. That's when they're different. It's so funny. The Democrats move more to the middle when they're running. The Republicans are actually conservative when they're running. And then when they win, they
Democrat-like
blow up.
Let's
play the clip. That's what we're talking about immigration. We've been talking about the economy and the economy under Obama and the hypocrisy of the left just forgetting. I mean, it's almost like they have amnesia. They forget this stuff. Let's play the clip of a right-wing radical.
We all agree on the need to better secure the border and to punish employers who choose to hire illegal immigrants. We are a generous and welcoming people here in the United States, but those who enter the country illegally and those who employ them disrespect the rule of law, and they are showing disregard for those who are following the law. We simply cannot allow people to pour into the United States undetected, undocumented, unchecked, and circumventing the line of people who are waiting patiently, diligently, and lawfully to become immigrants in this country.
Well, would you look at that?
Would you look at that?
Would you look at that?
Well, today is open the door, come on in. We cannot have any border walls. We got to welcome
Sounds like he was tougher on the border than Trump.
He's certainly tougher on the border back then than most of the Republicans in the House and the Senate, I can tell you that for certain.
Unreal. When you talk about the left not wanting to secure our border, look at 90% of the heroin brought into this country is from the southern border. 90%. Most of the cocaine brought in is from that border. We've got a huge drug problem in this country, and it needs to stop right there.
We've got a
right
huge
there.
drug problem right here in Western New York.
Absolutely,
In
the whole
high
country.
schools like Lancaster and places like that.
Yep.
Sadly, most of us now know somebody who's been affected by opiates or heroin.
Yeah.
A lot of us know somebody who's passed away, sadly, from the same thing.
That's right.
And 9 out of 10 chances, in 90% chance that heroin came or that opiate came from south of the border. It's just sad.
The estimated cost of illegal immigration is $150 billion per year right now.
But I thought Joe Scarborough said they were net positive $64 billion.
Well, he forgot to. Yeah, they actually do produce, right? They work but they make about $64 billion, but they cost us $150. But that's the fuzzy math that the liberals do, right? It's like Solar City. Remember your favorite subject, my favorite subject. Like $1 billion, $3 million per job, but they won't talk about it. It's like the gambler. The gambler who wins,
Always
right?
wins,
I
right?
won
Look at how much I
$10,000
won,
in the
that's right.
Super Bowl. He just forgot to tell you they lost 40.
Yeah, the one that goes to the casino always walks away a winner, but you never talk about the
How do
losses,
you run on that platform? How does the left do that? How do you say, look, 1 out of every 5 people in federal prison right now, an illegal immigrant? How is that not good to stop that?
So we went from there, right, we got to build border walls, whatnot, to now we want to abolish ICE. Think about the migration
That's right.
of the Democrat Party in the last 10 years.
Yep.
It's stunning how far. Now we're talking openly about socialism, and we'll play that clip next week. The new RNC commercial that's out there where Bernie is just perfect talking about what used to be fringe is now mainstream. Sadly, it is mainstream in a lot of sections of our
Although
population.
Bernie's trying to take credit for the good economy now. The unemployment rates are down. He's like, oh, it's because I was pushing for, the left has pushed for all these policies. Like, you are totally delusional.
If the media was honest, they would simply ask the question, Bernie, can you just say one policy that you're specifically referring to that led to the economic? No, you can't do it.
Yeah.
But they're not honest, and we know that.
That's a shame. All right, well, this is a place where money meets politics. Thank you to Channel 7. If you need us throughout the week, we do manage money for a living, 633-1515. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter @FinGuys. And if you think like us, use this as a resource. Again, 633-1515. We'll see you next week here on Channel 7. Take care. God bless.